Welcome to my review of the animated film of Animal Farm and book. Um, this is more or less a review of the film. I did some research about George Orwell. I was gonna do more in depth, but I think I'll do my own video, its own video. So, Mr. George Orwell, Georgie Boy, original name is Eric Arthur Blair. He was born June 25th, 1903. He passed away uh, 2/1/1950 from tuberculosis.
Of course, just a drink. No big John. Oh. Lenny, Lenny, where are you? Lenny, where are you? Lenny, Lenny, hey, Lenny. Lenny, Lenny, where are you at? Lenny, leave the kennel alone, you goddamn animals.
Who do you think you're talking to?
Nobody. I'm talking to nobody.
What did you say?
What?
I said.
Georgie Boy Orwell wrote 1984 Animal Farm. He is a renowned writer. He wrote a shit ton of books. So we're going to go now to the film. So the film and book start like any great fiction novel based entirely in real life about a drunk farmer coming home pissed off because his wife is banging the pigs. So the farmer is named is Mr. Jones. Jonesy Boy, if you will. So Jonesy Boy treats the animals like utter shit on the farm, right? So when he treats the animals like shit on the farm, they all of a sudden decide, hey, we're going to form our own government. Let's see this happen in real time. So as you can imagine, the animals are tired of this shit and they're tired of being treated like this, right? So the wise old pig has a vision that night about how the animals will finally be able to live on the farm equally with each other with no humans at all. And he foresees it coming in the revolution and the incoming days. Now, the theme of the book is an authoritarian government and what leads to the authoritarian government. And the film does show that very well, and it builds up to that. So when you're watching these clips, I want you to bear in mind that there are two pigs, and the two pigs' name are Snowball and Napoleon. Now, I want you to ask yourself, if I was gonna choose a villain name, which one would it be? Would it be Snowball or would it be Napoleon? And my money's on Snowball.
All the animals had agreed that as soon as Mr. Jones was in bed, they would gather in the main barn for a secret meeting called by Old Major, the prize boar hog, who because of his years was regarded as by far the wisest of the animals. Now he had made known there were some things he wanted to say to his fellow animals before it might be too late. It took a while for all to find their seats. The pigs had taken up the best positions immediately in front of the platform. Among them, Snowball, determined to get a good view. And Napoleon, equally determined and even less polite.
My dear friends, I have lived a long life. have had much time for thought as I lay alone in my stall. I won't be with you much longer. And before I die, there's something I want to tell you. Few of us will ever know the blessings of a peaceful old age. You, boxer, when you have given the last of your great strength, what then? Whatever we produce is taken from us, stolen from us, and sold. Our children are born to cold and hunger. Look at them while you can. You porkers, do you know what the future holds for you? Do we deserve such a fate? Is this farm too poor to support us all? No, comrades. The farm is rich, but we'll never get our rightful share from Farmer Jones. Overthrow this evil tyrant, and we shall be rich and free.
Courage! Revolt!
So Mr. Jones wakes up because Old Major's speech gets the animals so excited, and he just straight up shoots Old Major in the commotion of all this, and straight up 360 no scopes him. It was a hell of a shot. He got him in one shot, but because of this, the animals now rise up and revolt. So they do as any normal person does in a situation. They throw all their problems down the well. They throw the chains, the whips, everything that was used as instruments to control them as animals down the well. Now, while this is happening, they see Mr. Jones's house, and the pigs go through it and decide that this is not a place for any animal, that is a museum to be looked at. Meanwhile, Napoleon finds puppies and takes the puppies to a secret location to train them for further use. So Snowball decides, after all this, after they've burned all the stuff and, thrown all their problems down a well, as you do, Snowball decides, I'm going to teach the animals how to read English, read the alphabet, and also the principles of Animal Farm. And if you're like me, at this point in the book, the animals are in for a very, very rough, but could be prosperous time. Now, Snowball, in this way, is a non-authoritarian for the people leader, whereas Napoleon is an authoritarian leader who wants to seize power. And the only way he can do that is slowly. So he leans on the efforts of Snowball to build the government so that he can then take over and strip the animals of their rights. And they change the rules of the manor farm. Let's watch that.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
The animals were all agreed that Jones's house was no place for them. All, that is, except Napoleon.
So I mentioned Snowball teaches the pigs how to read and write. He teaches the other animals and fails and succeeds with some, but most of them can't read or write, and most of them can't understand. So Snowball makes the rules for the new animal farm, and he makes, it in a thing of like commandments. I think he makes them in a commandment. And their big thing is, those who walk on 2 legs are bad, and those who walk on 4 are good. And the chickens have an issue with that because they have wings, and the animals are like, no, wings are our legs, so those are 4, those count. Yeah. Anyway, they forbade the house. You're no longer allowed to go into the house. Forbidden to sleep on sheets, and forbidden to sleep in a bed. It's forbidden to drink alcohol. A lot of things are forbidden. It's forbidden to stand on 2 legs if you have 4 legs. So, as the farm is going through that, they are now responsible in pulling in the harvest for that year. And as animals do, they get put to work right away, and they manage to actually beat the farmers by a few days on pulling in the harvest. Good job. So while this is all happening, Snowball has this brilliant idea of giving the animals, electricity with a windmill. And Napoleon will have none of this because he's an authoritarian dictator, and he now ceases to take control by having the puppies he had set aside to attack Snowball and chase him off the land, thus effectively taking control of Animal Farm and becoming the dictator of the farm.
Led the other animals in organizing a new society, which they now named Animal Farm. So that all might see and agree, the laws of Animal Farm were inscribed in a prominent place, to be remembered and obeyed forever.
No animal shall sleep in a bed. No animal shall drink alcohol. 4 legs good, 2 legs bad.
Wings count as legs.
shall kill another animal. All animals are equal.
Tending farm by themselves posed problems for the animals, but the pigs could think of a way around every difficulty. Boxer was the admiration of everybody. He had been a hard worker in Jones's time, but now he seemed more like 3 horses in one. Instructed by Snowball, other animals worked out the rest for themselves, and the farm work was done like magic. Snowball felt that education was the animal's next necessity. Some of the animals were brighter than others, of course.
B! C! D!
Snowball set himself to solve the problem of power on the farm. And so did Napoleon. Snowball continued his thinking for the future. And in such thoughts, he was not alone.
Comrades, I have prepared a new plan for Animal Farm. Here it is. All it needs is your vote. At first, we will have to work more and eat less. But my plan will bring us electricity. It will mean a warm barn in winter. A light in every stall. Sty at roost. Luxury for all. Comrades, in one short year, Animal Farm will be the finest in the world.
Dreams, dreams.
A vote for my plan is a vote for the life beautiful.
It's a lie.
I'll promise you a 4-day week.
Bosh.
Perhaps a 3-day week.
Nonsense.
All-day week.
So now Snowball is out. He's been chased out by the dogs. And in the film and in the book, Napoleon takes dictatorship and he opposed the windmill, but now he is for it as much as a dictator would do. He is in favor for the windmill because he sees that the windmill can benefit him. And you know how he said that they shouldn't work with outsiders and stuff like that. Well, he starts to do this little by little. He'll make little trades with other farmers, and little by little, the animals will work harder and harder and harder and harder. But they do eventually get the windmill done, which is a great accomplishment for them. And the humans are drinking in the bar, and Mr. Jones has an issue with the windmill, but the other farmers have had it. He's not efficient enough to deal with the animals. He's a drunk. So in this movie, the humans go up and, and in the book, they go up and they, go after the animals and blow up the windmill. Now, the difference in the book is it clearly states that Mr. Jones leaves and eventually later on dies of old age and is never seen again. And in this movie, he just straight up kills himself. He just straight up suicide bombs the windmill. So, yeah, that was crazy. I didn't expect that in this movie.
Comrades, Snowball is a traitor. What was he really planning? To bring back Jones. Now, let's have no more of these useless meetings. Eh? From now on, I'll protect your interests. And I'll make your decisions. Let me show you my plan for Animal Farm.
Hooray! For Napoleon!
And so the windmill was started after all. Nothing could have been achieved without Boxer, whose strength was greater than that of all the other animals put together. Rations were shortened for the workers, but the pigs, by virtue of their brain work, were plentifully provided for. But the greatest inspiration came from Boxer, who, with his friend Benjamin, worked early and late, in season and out. One evening, after working long and late, as usual, Boxer and Benjamin made a curious discovery. Word of what now went on at night in Jones's house spread quickly through Animal Farm. Some of the animals thought they remembered a law against beds, but obviously they were mistaken.
So then the windmill has to be rebuilt, and Napoleon forces them to rebuild it. And Boxer, with a damaged hoof, pushes himself to an extreme extent that he collapses, and and the donkey sends for help, and Napoleon just straight up sends him to the glue factory. But because some of the animals are too stupid and most of them can't read, they don't know that he is being sent to his death, and the pigs are telling him, no, 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 the horse is going to, Boxer is going to the hospital. He's going to a vet to get his paw looked at, and they're gonna fix him right up. But all of a sudden, Boxer just didn't make it. I was there right up till the end. So life continues on after Boxer dies. They finish the windmill. More pigs are born. The pigs start to act more like humans. And finally, we get towards the end. Now, I want to say, in the book, this is not dictated. This does not happen in the book. In the animated film, it shows the animals finally rising up and taking out the pigs. In the book, it ends on an open question on what happens to the farm. So after we get done this clip, I'm going to do a synopsis breakdown of my thoughts on this.
Now began the heartbreaking job of rebuilding. And as before, Boxer and Benjamin worked hardest of all. By now, supervision of the work by pigs was hardly necessary, so they had time for less laborious pursuits. Long after the other animals left the job, Boxer and Benjamin worked on and on, giving their all, year in, year out. A new generation of pigs grew up, endowed with what were considered arts and graces very flattering to Animal Farm and its presiding genius. But still the windmill was not finished, and Boxer's injured foot got worse. Next day, the windmill work went on as usual, but now without Boxer. And during the morning, what appeared to be an ambulance arrived. Only Benjamin suspected it wasn't an ambulance. The other animals finally recognized the death wagon from Mr. Whymper's glue factory.
I was with him right to the end.
his last words were, "Forward, comrades! Long live Napoleon!" Wolfhog. To peace and plenty under pig rule. To the day when pigs own and operate farms everywhere.
To the animals, it now seemed that their world, which may or may not someday become a happy place to live in, was worse than ever for ordinary creatures. And another moment had come when they must do something about it.
So that was Animal Farm, the animated movie. Um, it was good. I enjoyed it. Some of the things that I edited out that I wanted to talk about here in this spot is one of the things that I didn't show, and the book talks about, and the film shows it, is the genocides that are committed within the farm. So when Napoleon chases Snowball out of the farm, he concocts a thing with the pig called Squiller. And Squiller and Napoleon concoct a story that Snowball was working with Mr. Jones all along. And that any person who was working with Snowball come forward. Now, to the animals, Snowball was a hero. He helped fight the humans off the first time and the second time. So the overthrowing of getting rid of him, the animals were confessing the crimes they hadn't even committed. There's a part in the movie where the chickens were asked to give their eggs back when they were told they didn't have to do that anymore. And they literally started throwing their eggs, destroying them, so that the pigs could no longer use them, so that they were no longer worthy for him. And Napoleon ordered anybody who was part of that coup to be killed, and the dogs killed them. There's a lot in this book. There's a coup, there's a revolution, there's a downfall of a government, there's a second revolution that ends on a cliffhanger. Nothing really went well for the animals, and it almost seems like where they started was worse to them at first, until they ended where they were. And then at that point, the pigs were the humans effectively, and they worked the animals worst and worked them over worst. I mean, you could use this synopsis towards anything. I think the reason why this book works so well and such easy read and is such a good film is because it it's very deep. There's a lot here. It could seem like a kids movie, the animated version at the base level, even the live action one with the live action, it could be seen as a kids movie at the basis, but there's a very deep, profound prognosis on the way we operate as a society and a government and how authoritarianism can effectively, you know, destroy and and brainwash the animals to at the point where the animals lived in such squalor they were worst off. It's it's weird because it within the book and in the film, the pigs say you are not supposed to do dealings with humans, but the pigs end up doing dealings with humans and then do money. They break all the rules, and in the end, it should just the animated film should end on, but the book basically ends on not all animals are created equal. Some are created more equal than others. So it's a very profound film. I hope you enjoyed this review. I really did enjoy making this, and I love this book and I love this animated movie. It's dark, it's edgy, but it's eye opening, and you should give the book a read. It's not that old. It's not that expensive. I mean, it is kind of old, but it's not that hard to read. I highly recommend. Please check out the film and the book and subscribe. Thank you.